Two, 1, 2, 3.
I've been feeling so small. Watch the clock ticking off the wall. But tonight I'm letting it go. Spend my coin for sure. I'm gonna be myself, or I could be someone else. No one's stopping me now.
Hi everyone, welcome to today's video where we discuss the fall of the United Kingdom. I will be talking about everything particularly relating to the United Kingdom, from Great Britain to the Queen, to Prince Andrew, Prince William, Prince Harry, and you name it. I'm going to be talking about a lot of multiple things as well relating to this particular region. It's been a very long time since I talked about Britain, particularly relating to the Boston Tea Party. But anyway, for all you guys who came today or who are going to be watching this video, thank you guys so much. If you do like this video, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. It will be really helpful for the channel. Now, quickly before we do jump into the video, I just want to let you guys know that everything will be timestamped in the description below if you are interested in visiting to a certain part of this video or section, so to speak. But anyway, for those of you guys who have been wondering where I have been over the past couple of weeks, since last year actually, I've been really sick. I had strep that kind of took on very similar symptoms related to COVID and the flu, so it was very hard for me to distinguish what I had for a while. But I am recovering. Throughout the video, I will be coughing, so I do want to put that out there just in case. But just so you are all aware, I am not contagious, so you can breathe. But anyway, this is being live streamed on January 16, 2021 at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you are interested, this is just for entertainment purposes only and for education purposes only as well. Quick before we do begin, I will be giving you a short, very tiny summary of the British Empire and everything relating to that, so you're kind of up to date if you don't know much about England, which I obviously don't, but I can give you little pieces in what I know based on American history. So just deal with me there. I hear some other disclaimers. You can pause the video if you want to read them. But anyway, let's jump in. Let's start, really. There's nothing else holding me back, right? All right, besides COVID. But anyway, let's jump in. All right, so basically this is actually Britain, or the United Kingdom, broke it down into 4 separate countries. Now, this is actually people kind of very similar to the way that we do in the States, where we talk about, New York, California, where our loyalty lies within the state, but not the country itself. So kind of think of it this way. So the reason why Britain is having a major trouble trying to keep its population happy with their country as itself is because a lot of them identify more so with the state than the country itself. Very similar to the way Americans do, where they identify with their state rather than the country. So, for example, if you were to see another American on the street and you ask him or her where they're from, they're more likely to say that they're from the States. They'll give you a specific state rather than to say they're American overall. And that's because real loyalty lies within the state. So the same thing applies for Britain. So during the height of 1940s, this was the height of the British Empire, with them ranging from almost all continents. This empire was known as the empire where the sun never sets, basically meaning that when the sun goes down on one side of the earth, it always rises in another part of the empire. So there was always light in some way. During the time of when the World War II was starting, everything was starting to become more chaotic. And at the time, Queen Elizabeth's father, who was the king at the time, I don't know his name, so I'm not going to mention it. And he was, I guess, taking control of England along with Winston Churchill, who was the prime minister during that time period. During this time, this was the first time in a very long time that Britain has even seen a female rule in the form of the monarchy. And so it was a very momentous time. And so this was actually 1952, I didn't believe, on June 2nd, if I am correct, for her coronation. And so after that followed is during her time when she was queen, and still is queen till this day. India was starting to undergo a revolution. This is when it starts to cause problems with her nation. So when she took over Great Britain, so to speak, in terms of the monarchy and the crown, the empire was flourishing. But when she started taking it after World War II, that's when it started to crumble, and we're starting to see that crumble even till today, and I'll go into that more in depth. But you see here, this is the start. This is Gandhi talking about nonviolent revolution and protest, and in the end, the British ended up pulling out and giving India the right to declare its own independence as an independent nation. And this is when all this land up until today, Britain does not own. The only part that they own is just a small piece of Ireland and the mainland of England. That's it. They don't really own anything else, besides a few islands, of course. But anyway, fast forward into the 90s, we have Princess Diana, who was a major component to the British, and particularly to the royal family. This is when the family started to crumble. So we kind of saw the empire falling, but this is really the turning point for the royal family when she was married to Prince Charles, I believe, or something like that, and he ended up cheating on her, and there was some issues there, and Prince Charles is not very likable at all. He's pretty racist and says some very disturbing stuff. And he ended up being with someone else who I think he's related to, actually, believe it or not. I don't know, Sweet Home Alabama, something like that. She ended up dying in a car crash, and people think that it may have been behind by the royal family, may have planned her death, particularly relating to the fact that they don't want her in existence, as she was known as not the queen, but she was known as the queen of the people, because she was so loved and so adored by so many people that she really was the person who really started making people realize that during the AIDS pandemic, it's not the physical touch. And so she was really very key component, especially for Britain. And they didn't see that. They didn't see how beautiful of a human she really was. And because she was like such a beautiful person in such a wrong area, such a wrong time. And so we have here as well, during the same time period, we have Prince Andrew with a lady and his friend in the background. Now, I don't know why they thought this was a wonderful idea to take a photo like this. I don't know what was going through their heads, but this is around the same time period in which it took place, and you'll end up finding out why this picture particularly is going to play a major role in this video and in the fall of the royal family. Now, I got to be very careful what I say on here, as YouTube is starting to clamp down, particularly relating to topics such as these. We have Prince William, the son of Princess Diana, which we recently spoke about, and who died in a car crash. And that is his wife. And I don't know her name. It's not really that important. But anyway, he is destined to become the future king after Queen Elizabeth dies. And then fast forward, we also have another thing is we have Prince Harry, who is also the son of Princess Diana, marrying Meghan Markle, who's actually an American. And actually, believe it or not, she had very small blood relation to the original royal family, which is nice, but it's not following the Sweet Home Alabama ancestry as his other family members are. So it's very nice to see that. So that is kind of like the small history of Britain. I really should not be a British teacher because clearly I really like messed that up. But hi Doris, hi Suckin, hi David, what's up, love? Thank you guys all so much for your positive love and energy, particularly healing energy. All right, so let's jump into it. Everything's time stamped in the description below. Of course, everybody who's here today, you can ask any questions if you like, as long as it relates to the topic. Okay, so the first question that we have today is the State of the Union. The State of the United Kingdom. Will it break up into smaller nations? So let's take a quick look. Will it break up into smaller nations? So Spirits and Angels tell me, will the United Kingdom break up into small nation within the next 20 years? Will the United Kingdom break up into smaller nations? Right now, with Brexit and everything, Britain is more divided than it has ever been in a very long time, so it will be very interesting to see. Okay, so we have Judgment. Now, if you want to read with me, go ahead and just tell me what you get. But actually add the question that you're answering, because I have no idea. Sometimes you give me your answers, and I have no idea what it's referring to. All right, so The thing is, the question that we're asking is whether or not the United Kingdom is going to collapse into smaller nations. We have here, this is Britain, England, right? Actually, believe it or not, this is the English flag. And we have here people. And what I'm seeing here is that I'm sensing this reality where people are more wanting to align with their ancestry rather than with the nation and what they preside in. And so that is what I'm seeing here. I'm seeing that there is going to be a breakup, and it's going to feel like kind of like what Oprah says. Like if you haven't seen Oprah and you watch her television, she said, "You get one, and you get one, and you get one. Everyone gets one." You know, that kind of thing, where she shaked it and stuff like that. Yeah, that's what I'm seeing here. I'm seeing that Britain is kind of like, even if it doesn't want to do it willingly, it's going to have to start giving people what they want because the popularity is there. And so they're not going to be able to maintain a nation that does not want to be held together, right? You can put a band-aid on it, you can put glue on it, but eventually the glue is going to wear it down, and so is the band-aid. So it's going to give up eventually. We have here in the past, we have the British Empire. It was very rich. It was luxurious. The kings and queens, they took advantage of this. They took advantage by uniting an island. They became a very massive empire. That was in the past. This was the gold. This is pre World War II. Underneath the judgment, we have the Ace of Cups, right? We have an empire that has pouring in money. A lot of the reason why the United Kingdom is not doing as well as it once was. Now, remember, I'm not a British citizen, so I'm just giving you my straight up intuition, like I always do on my videos. What I'm sensing here is that they're spending money where it's not needed to be spended, and because they're spending money that's unnecessary, people within the country is starving and it's not having the necessities that otherwise they would have. Potentially, this could be related to the royal family getting a large sum of money just for public entrances, kind of like their own personalized celebrity or Hollywood, but they pay them, whereas we don't pay them. Okay, so on the right side of the empire, we have here the hangman. I do see eventually the United Kingdom will break up. I do see potentially 4 or 5 different nations potentially splitting the United Kingdom practically in half or in quarters. I do see that here, that eventually what once was will no longer be. That's the motto for the nation. What once was will no longer be. We have here as well as we have the Knight of Pentacles. We have this money coming in, right? Holding this money, this foundation. They're like, well, potentially if we give people money, maybe we could seduce them into staying a part of our nation, right? But eventually that's not going to work out because people are going to start to forget that this money is only temporary, but they're going to start to remember the reasons why they wanted to leave the union in the first place. Potentially it could be mistreatment, could be lack of acknowledgement, lack of representation in their own government. It could be a multitude of different things. We also have here ignorance. We have ignorance here, not realizing the problem and getting head on. And the last thing I see for if the United Kingdom was to stay together, it will be in major trouble going forward. I do see a lot of trouble ahead for the nation. I don't necessarily see a future where they're united for basically forever. Hi, BT. I am better. Thank you, love. So the next thing that we're going to ask is the future of the royal family in England. And I think a lot of you guys are very interested and very curious to see the future of the royal family. I think so am I. The last time we discussed this, we had a conversation with Princess Diana, but she kind of like flaked on me last minute. So we're going to have to deal without her this time. All right, so Spirit Angel, tell me, what is the future of the royal family? If you guys are reading with me or you're getting information from other psychics or your own information, please feel free to share it. I would like to know what other people are getting. Because I have no idea. I don't follow politics in this regard, so I have no idea. All right, so Spirit Angels, tell me what's the future of the royal family. Actually, let's leave this card here. And let's use the John Kipper. I feel like this one would be more related to the royal family as they're a little bit dark and corrupt. Kind of very similar to the Vanderbilt. If you don't know who they are, they're kind of like robber barons. All right, so Spirit Angels, tell me about the future of the royal family. What is the future of the royal family? What is the future of the royal family? What is the future of the royal family? Okay. Oh, okay. Mm. Yike. Oh boy. Oh boy. All right. Okay, this is interesting. All right, so the first card that came out for right away, we have the Two of Pentacles. We have it can go either way, right? There's two paths, two possible outcomes. I don't know what those other outcomes are. I'm just giving you one of them. We have here on the left side here is we have thoughts, right? People for a very long time have very interesting thoughts about Queen Elizabeth. We kind of see here a younger image of Queen Elizabeth, her ruling. Some people are questioning whether or not and I'm not, endorsing these conspiracy theories, but a lizard, a reptilian, planned Princess Diana's death, you name it, basically. And that's what I'm kind of seeing here, that these thoughts, people are thinking in their head, they're overthinking potentially. It could be maybe some of those stuff is true. There's a whole multitude of things, and I'm not saying I agree or disagree with any of those. I'm just seeing that this is what I'm seeing in this card here, right? We have her image is tarnished, so to speak. Below these Two of Pentacles here, we have the unexpected income. What I can tell you going forward is that the royal family's future, that they're going to be broke. Potentially, they're spending more than they're taking in. Potentially, it could be that the money is cut off permanently by the people. Potentially, the government, maybe the parliament, may cut off the money, if so be. We do have here, as well as in terms of the future of the royal family, I do kind of see that there may be a potential outcome for imprisonment. Potentially, this could be referring to Prince Andrews and his crime. Could be the fact that maybe we may end up finding out that maybe Queen Elizabeth did do something to Princess Diana, but because she may have passed away by this point, it'll be too late for imprisonment. There will be a multitude of reasons why this card will come up. Now, the problem is this person would normally be in jail, but it's reversed, which tells me that they may get out, they may get a slap on the wrist, they may get, what's the best way to put it? They may also receive like bail, they may receive community service, something like that, something that's easier rather than physically going to jail. That's what I'm seeing here. They may even get the easier way out, which could also mean, what's the guy's name? Jeffrey Epstein way out kind of thing. When he went to jail, he disappeared like that. We also have here as well a community, right? So we have the community is no longer rallying around the royal family. So I don't see the royal family having any support. No one really gives the crap anymore about them, particularly relating to this is going to occur around the time that King William and his queen are on the throne. We do have here a fourth person. So there is someone there that might be an FBI, someone who is not an FBI because they don't only work for the United States, but someone who is like a Secret Service agent. Potentially, it could be somebody who works for another country, maybe potentially be a spy. Maybe it could also be as well the lying, being deceptive to the public. And we also have here a journey. The question is, I do see in some way the royal family are going to be on this rocky road ahead, but we do have here an end. They are going to become wealthy again. Now, I don't know exactly how that's going to happen, but I don't see Prince William making the royal family wealthy. I do see maybe a son or someone after him making the family wealthy again. Maybe the dream, maybe the idea in their head that my family was once wealthy. Let me bring that back, you know? So now the next question that we're going to ask is no better than, will the citizens abolish monarchy in England? Right now, they did a public poll in the UK, and they are currently saying that about 60% of the people in Britain support abolishing the monarchy, but only a few of them will actually go out and vote. So that would be very interesting to see how that results would actually turn out. So, Spirit Angel, please tell me, will the British or the citizens of the United Kingdom, will they abolish the monarchy or the royal family? Will they abolish the monarchy in 20 years? Will they abolish the monarchy? Okay. Okay. Oh, this is confusing. All right. Will they abolish the monarchy? Spirit Angel, tell me. Will they abolish the monarchy in 20 years? Will a British citizen abolish it? Okay, let's do this one. Okay, what I'm sensing here, this is going to take place after Prince William. So whoever's in power after Prince William. Okay. So we have the King of Wands here, right? We don't have Queen Elizabeth who's still on the throne. It's kind of like a conservative type leader, someone who's in position of power, particularly a male. As you all know, when the seat is reversed, in my perspective and my intuition tells me that this person has either died, already been on the throne, or they have not been on the throne yet. And so what this kind of tells me here that this is the male, and this is relating to Prince William. Now, what this card talks to me about the fact that this is Prince William after he's no longer king, right? Which is why the main male is gone, right? The main male is reversed. So he is gone. He is the first one in throne, next in line after Elizabeth. I do see that if they were to abolish monarchy, it would be after William. We have here as well, we have the Page of Cups, the brand new king, the son. The son will take over. But by this point, we have occupation. He doesn't have any interest in keeping the throne or being able to maintain it. It doesn't feel like this was something that he wanted. He had a different idea. So I feel like he is more of the son is more of somebody who is not power hungry, but somebody who kind of wants to live their own normal life, almost like a commoner. And so I do feel like the next person in line will be a female, if I'm correct, which will be the daughter. We have here the Fool, right? She's very adventurous. She's interested in what she can do and how to do it. And we have here Distant Horizon, and this is a chip, but it has an anchor. It means like it feels like she could really be the one who could turn this entire ship around, but she will not be the one to sink it, so to speak. So it could potentially be an outcome where we have 3 kings and queens, but it's going to take a while before any sort of agreement come to abolishing the monarchy. We have here as well as we have the main male, Monsieur Mel. So by this point, potentially there could be like the son who is Monsieur. And then the economy in the UK is a lot of ruin. People are not happy. I kind of see this in my image right now. I'm getting the year like kind of like almost like 2093. So it could be like in a couple of, how many decades would that be? Like about 50 decades? No, not 50 decades, but like 50 years, if I do the math correctly. It does feel like this is going to be a major issue. Potentially the economy is pretty bad by this point in the UK. And we have unexpected income, which is reversed. So people are not having income. So by this point, we may actually experience an outcome where the people may start stealing from the rich. And that's when this issue starts to become abolished. So yeah, potentially there is an outcome where the abolition of the monarchy in Britain occurs, but it's very unlikely based on what I see in the cards. It's an outcome where it's possible, but not likely, if you know what I mean. So if you were hoping for the abolition of the monarchy, it's not going to happen anytime soon. All right. Now, the next question that we're going to look at is Prince Andrew's future. Now, I have been trying for a very long time to avoid him, particularly because of the problem that we face, particularly on YouTube, especially as YouTubers, as a lot of our videos start to become more silent, so to speak. Like I did a video on him, it's called Peter Ring, with a couple other people, Matt Gase and Maxwell and all those people. My video ended up getting silent, and I no longer have any money or income from it, which is completely fine. But the fact is that they kind of like clipped a piece of my video out, kind of bothers me. So yeah, so kind of very hard to like want to do this video, but I did it anyway. So to kind of put all the stuff that I tell you in the back of your mind, because it may not be here tomorrow. Carol, monarchy will be on its last leg by 2030. One queen is no longer on the throne. It will be a free-for-all, says historians. Thank you for that. That's interesting. So Prince Andrew's future. All right, guys, I don't know what other people are saying about Prince Andrew, so if you want to share that information, please let me know. Okay, so Prince Andrew's future. What do we need to know about Prince Andrew's future? Okay. Now, you guys may have remembered a video that I did with this. And, you know, we got some interesting information on him. So, let's see. Spirit Angel, please tell me about Prince Andrew and his future. What lies ahead for him? I don't see a job here. Where's jail? Okay. Funny thing is, the jail's at the end, but not at the end. Interesting. Okay, let's see what the cards have to say. All right. Just may go against everything I literally talked about last time. All right, we'll see. All right, so we have the two of swords here. We have mentality here, right? We have that this guy already had a very clear path. It feels like he is not confused. He's somebody who's very head-witted, and he knows exactly what he's going for and what exactly he's going to do. Now, I'm just telling you that that's the first impression when I get on the first card here. We have here as well with the King of Wands. Recently, the Queen had denounced his title as Prince Andrew, but I'm just going to call it that. I'm going to call him PA, just so, it doesn't go on the radar of YouTube. So PA, kind of feel like he's not there anymore. His title is lost. This is where we're at right now. We have here his future is being left in the balance. It's undecided. It's a little rocky, but it's not decided yet. We have here underneath this clear vision in his head, a clear path forward. It's the fact that he doesn't see turmoil. He sees path and futures in areas where he least expected, particularly in dark areas. The darker something is, the easier it is for him to find the light. I don't know why that is, but that's just what it feels like. It feels like this is a man who somehow is not optimistic, but knows how to use dark times like these and turn it to his own benefit. We have here as well, we have the Knight of Pentacles. It feels like to me, he may reveal a revelation about something in order to gain something. So potentially I do see an outcome, and I'm seeing an outcome here. This is now very far-fetched. This is the one outcome that I'm seeing in my third eye here, is that he prevents information regarding the monarchy that is related to the monarchy. Particularly, I'm seeing Prince William during his coronation, kind of very similar to the way people would when they get married. They'll say, does anyone have anything to say against this union? We're about to become one. And anybody who stands up can denounce and say no and give a reason why they shouldn't get married. It kind of feels like this is one of the things that he does, is that he may actually say, and I quote, now this is just for entertainment purposes only. There's no way we can back this up and say this is true or not. But this is the thing that I heard, that one of them is not related to the Queen, or at least not indirectly related. So therefore, he will not be in the right next in line to the throne. And so I feel like that will change up the way the entire system will be. And so now Britain will be in this point in time where there is no quote unquote leader. And so now it goes to the next person who has the most experience and the most age in terms of that. And it will be temporarily until the entire lineage has been decided on who will take in the next throne for the coronation. So I do feel like there is an outcome where he does potentially try to sabotage or backstab the monarchy. I do see an outcome for that where Prince Andrew does that. We have here as well, we have the Page of Wands. He's hoping that he could potentially become king, but it feels like he's not likely to, but so he might actually try to steal it in some way or some form. Now, this could just be his thought. This could be what I'm reading, and his mentality doesn't mean it's going to come to fruition. It could just be what's inside his head. We have here as well in the future of Prince Andrew, we have community. He does not have the backing of the public. We all know this. This is not surprising. Then we have here as well a change, right? He's going through a big change in his life right now, which is why we're in this area for him right now. In the future, though, this is what we have. We have fourth person, occupation, and child. So now here we have the fourth person. Now, this is what I'm sensing here, that potentially there could be an outcome, and I quote unquote, for entertainment purposes only, I am sensing here that this potentially could be an outcome where he may able to find one of his accusers and say that she or he lied about what had happened to try to clear his name. He even may even hire somebody to pretend to accuse him to only end up having them found out that they are actually fake. So it could be a facade that's being played here. Now there's so many angles that could be used. Now the occupation card was reversed. But we're talking about he is no longer part of the royal family. He doesn't even have a job. So it does feel like he is somebody who's able to have enough sufficient funds. Probably this was talking about Queen Elizabeth after she died. So I do feel like, knock on wood, she's gonna pass away by this point, and so he's living off her trust fund, whatever money that she leaves for him. We have here as well, there may be a child involved. Potentially, there could be him having a child that we don't know about. There could also be that maybe this is what he likes to do things with, so to speak. It could be a multitude of meaning. We also have your pathway. So a lot of what I'm seeing for Prince Andrew in the future is that when he passes, he would be kind of like a ghost. He would not be somebody who passes on into the next phase of evolution in terms of beyond the physical. It feels like he is going to stay here, stuck here, but only walking until he learns his lesson. So kind of temporary, kind of think of it like detention, but for him. And so that is what I'm seeing here for that. I'm seeing a reality where there's like detention for him. So it's interesting to kind of see what that is. So what do you guys think? Well, what are other people are getting? I want to know what other psychic or tarot readers are getting on this, especially related to Prince Andrew. Okay, so subscriber question: will Prince Andrew settle a lawsuit from Virginia G? I'm gonna call it Virginia G just to make it easier. I'm just gonna see if he's gonna be found guilty. Let's just ask that. Just Spirit Angel, tell me, will Prince Andrew be found guilty with the case against Virginia G? That looks like a yes. Okay. Final outcome for the full card clarification. Will he be found guilty? I need to. Will he be found guilty? Will Prince Andrew be found guilty? Prince Andrew be found guilty? Okay. Will Prince Andrew be found guilty? Okay. We don't know what this card is, so leave that to the side. All right. So the first card that we have here is we have the Ten of Swords, right? When I asked, will Prince Andrew be found guilty in the court case against Virginia G? Right, and it kind of looks like a plausible yes, right? That's Ten of Swords being stabbed in someone's back. But we do have here, there's two potential outcomes that I see. Now, this could mean yes, he is found guilty and he'll be charged. This could also mean as well that he hires a hitman, right, to go after the judge who is taking the case and therefore threatened him. That is one outcome for entertainment purposes only. Another thing that I've seen here as well is that it could be that he tries to run away from his past, from this card, right? He tries to run away from his past. What we have here is Ten of Swords, with a very strong judge who cannot be bothered no matter how wavy the water is. He can make a very clear discernment about what's right and what's from wrong and kind of take his emotions out of the situation. We have here as well as we have the Fool card. And this is kind of talking to me as somebody who's not making a very foolish decision. There's a reason for the decision that they make. So no matter what the outcome is, just trust that there is a reason for the outcome to occur. Potentially, if he's found guilty, there's a reason that reason why he's found guilty, if there's a reason why he's found innocent, there might be an underlying issue. It might lead to something else. It might lead to a corruption scandal within the royal family that's related to this. So there's a multitude of reasons. There's trust that there is some reason for the result to occur based on the energy. The energy is there. Whatever the court case goes, it'll be the way everything else is going to shape around it. We have here as well, we have the Five of Swords. I do feel like he's going to have some cases where he's going to win, and there are going to be some cases where he's going to lose. We also have here as well, we have the Hierophant in reverse. He does not have the backing of the royal family. It does feel like the royal family will intentionally abandon him. And it does feel like this will be the same with the government itself. And the government is not going to get involved, as a lot of those people can be incriminated because they participated in the same thing. For entertainment purposes only. We also have here as well is in the future, we have unexpected income. But actually, specifically enough, we have Queen Victoria in the coin. We're talking about Queen Elizabeth here. Potentially, this queen she might actually be abandoned by a queen, or she might receive unexpected income from the Queen Elizabeth. Now, I talked about the time period in which I've seen Prince Andrew having some unexpected money where he's able to live on his own with no job, no occupation. So potentially by this point, Queen Elizabeth could potentially pass away this year or next year, depending on when the court case is. And because of this money, he's not only going to be able to live on his own and live a good life, I guess, so to speak, but he's also going to be able to help himself in court cases. It almost feels like she's giving him a little boost, so to speak. So that's what I'm seeing here. I don't necessarily see jail. Let's see. Do we see jail here? Okay, so we have the jail card here. Jurisdiction. So it's same thing with the court. The court case here. Okay, let me just do it this way. So we have jail and the court here. It's at the bottom. It tells Maine. Unlikely. He's not going to jail. That's probably why when we did that reading with the future of the royal family, particularly relating to Prince Andrew's, the royal family in general, we saw imprisonment, but it was reverse. It could be talking about that he's supposed to go to jail, but he ended up getting out of it due to other means. That could be what this means. It could be he could be the person in that picture that we saw earlier in today's video that's the reason why he didn't go to jail, was because of what I said earlier. Yeah, okay, yeah. That's what I thought. Okay, so last question of today, so you can rest assured, I will be uploading some videos tonight. They won't be uploaded till tomorrow, and yeah, tomorrow. So you guys will have some videos to watch. We'll be talking about Stacey Abrams and something else. I have no other idea what else I have planned. Okay, so Queen Elizabeth future and the future King William future. So we're gonna kind of take 3 cards for each person. So Spirit Angel, please tell me Queen Elizabeth's future. What is Queen Elizabeth's future? Okay. An outcome card. Oh, it's talking about her husband. Okay, so let's talk about King William. The King William future, the one that's next in line to Queen Elizabeth. What is his future? Okay. And the Queen of Swords. Ooh. Okay. He is certainly submissive. Okay. Anyway, besides the point, we'll get to that in a moment. So talking about Queen Elizabeth here, we have her on the throne, right? This is in the past, right? I kind of see her as this is kind of like 1940 image where she's on the throne. Let me see if I can pull up an image again. Kind of looks like her a little bit in this picture. It kind of gives me that energy that this is Queen Elizabeth, right? This is her future. And so this is her. She's on the throne, right? What we have here is we have death. And you remember how I said this kind of reminds me of a lover card, kind of like her ex-husband. And then we have his challenged by death. Potentially, this could be the reunion. So right now, this is where we are right now. She's so queen. This is where we are in this timeline. But in the future, the next stage for her is death. Right? That is the next stage. I do see that it's going to be a timeline where she's going to join her ex-husband in in the external life beyond the physical. So yes, her future, her next step is death. I don't see anything major. I feel like she completed a lot of things in her life, and therefore the next thing that's going to occur is her passing. We do have here, she's gonna either have quote unquote fees for entertainment purposes only. I do see here she either has 3 years, 3 months, or 3 days, or 3 weeks. So something with the number 3 in it. She could be dying at 3:53. She could die at like 3 p.m. There's a multitude. Whatever the 3 is, there's a 3 involved here. I'm also seeing a 6 as well. So a 6 could be something very significant. She may die in the month of June. Who knows? I'm also seeing as well as 2023. This might be her last full year. That is the future of the Queen. I know that was very dark, but sorry about that. Yeah, very dark. Anyway, besides the point, let's jump on to the next king, right? Let's give him a little coronation. Miss you too. Love you too, love. How you been? So we have here, in terms of King William's future, we have here we have the 2 of Wands. I do feel like he's not going to have the control that his mother did. Remember when I talked about his mother becoming the Queen of England? We have here, this was the reign that Great Britain had among all the colonies and territories. This is the power that it had. By the time that she became in office, I mean, by the time she became queen, this is the only area that she controls, right? And so that is going to be the same thing for the king, right? And that's what I'm sensing here. I'm seeing that there's going to be an outcome where he's not going to be able to have that diplomacy, that power, that recognition among the world. Like, he's not going to be able to pull the strings the way his grandmother would. That's what I'm seeing here. We also have here as well, we have the Chariot. By this point, when his mother passes, his great-grandmother passes, excuse me, grandmother. Oh my God, I'm stuttering today. We also have here as well, we have the Chariot card reversed. And it kind of tells me that there's going to be some issues regarding her funeral. Potentially there could be, maybe there's going to be like a brawl between the 2 brothers, between Prince Harry and Prince William, and them fighting at her funeral. I do see that there's going to be some sort of issue relating to that, and that there may be a no attendance. It could be a cancellation. Potentially no one shows up, because maybe this is going to be during the height of COVID again, maybe during the height of a high COVID strain, and it's going to be known as a super spreader event. So it'll be very interesting to see how this would occur. We do have here, though, for King William and his future, I don't see him on the throne for too long. And if he was on the throne, it will be his wife who's going to be kind of pulling the strings, so to speak. It kind of feels like she's more submissive and she's more dominant in this aspect. So she's the more masculine figure, where he's more the feminine figure. And because of that, he is more. And I'm not saying that, one person's inferior and another person's superior. But in this case, that's what I'm sensing, that the energy here is more superior to his wife than him. And therefore, there's going to be that sense of power struggle, so to speak. We do have here as well, by this point, the royal family is going to have some money issues. I already spoken about that many times. So that's what I'm seeing for Prince William. I'm glad that you're having a good time, Bessie. Good, I'm glad. All right, guys. I hope you guys liked today's video. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon for any more future videos. Please comment in the section below what your favorite food is. I'm very curious to see what that is. And I'll see you guys in the next video. And yeah, I love you. So I hope you enjoyed this video. And see you in the next one. Bye.